Hello, good evening, everyone. It's August 20th, 2019, and once again, we are here to discuss our favorite stocks in the Philippine Stock Exchange. And let's wait for some joiners. Thank you guys for joining. I can now see you. And please don't forget to drop a comment and say hi so we can recognize you. Who do we have now? We've already started reviewing offline some of the stocks you've requested, and thank you for replying to my invite earlier. Hello, Lynette. Good evening. Yes, kppi. I have that on my list. In the meantime, what you guys see on your screen is the official page or the official YouTube channel, and you can locate us. I am Miss JD on YouTube, and the objective of this page is just to give us some options on where you can view our videos. And the reason why this is also another good portal is the fact that you can adjust the playback speed of the videos. In my post previously, I recommended that whatever analysis that we have for tonight, you observe how the market goes the next day, and then when the market closes, you can go back to the video and then cross-reference whether we have accurate analysis or not. So the most efficient way you can do that is, of course, you can just adjust the playback speed, and you can go to YouTube and take notes, take down notes. Those analysis where we have accurate findings, you may apply that in your virtual trades first before you, of course, apply it in your actual trades. So see the thought process. I'm just giving you some options on where you can maximize your learning through our videos. So please do subscribe. I would appreciate it. You've allowed us to grow our Facebook page. Let us also grow our YouTube page or YouTube channel. Good evening, Donald. Wow, we have someone from Dallas, Texas. Welcome to our page. I hope we can also invite some of our kababayans in the US to also follow our page and subscribe to our channel. Good evening, Darrenson. Chris for MBT. Yep, I have that, Chris, but I don't have pure gold yet. Let me add that. Pure gold. So just an FYI, tomorrow is a holiday in the Philippines. So um, ideally, I would have an hour long of live, but if we cannot finish it in an hour, then I'm okay to extend. There's no work tomorrow. Yoo-hoo! Yay, thank you, Darrenson. Thanks for subscribing to our YouTube page. Let us see. Yeah, maybe in a little while it'll refresh. But now let's start. What I currently have on my screen here is our favorite tool when we do our charting. This is our Investograms. And I bet many of you are already users of Investograms, right? I use this. This is actually free. You can create an account here, and you can do virtual trade over here. And yep, they also have the indicators that you guys can use in your technical analysis. But for us, we are more comfortable in using Bollinger Band and RSI. So these are just the two indicators that I use. I just keep it simple so that it does not cloud my analysis. And I can get to a decision at a much faster time. And I know some of you are very new to the stock market, and maybe it's your first time here on our live. So very quickly, so we all know and understand how to read the candlesticks. We are currently in a daily chart, so every candlestick would mean 1 day. You will also see a green and a red candlesticks. Now, it depends on your settings, but I would prefer a green and a red. Now, when does it go green? In this situation, the price started at this level, and throughout the day, the price went up and down, mostly on the downside, or mostly, yep, on a bit. No, hold on. My bad. Let me repeat that. This is a green because the price started at this level. It started low, and throughout the day, there are a lot of buyers and sellers transacting in this particular, let's say, in this particular company. Now, at one point, it even reached this low, and it managed to end at a much higher price. Okay, so it started low and ended high. Now it becomes red when the starting price is high, and then price moves up and down. At one point it reached this level, but it ended slightly lower than the starting price. Okay. For this one, it started really low right here. Extreme movements up and down, but it ended. So it started here, rallied up and down, and it ended over here. So that now becomes red. Okay, so let's take ATN as an example here. For today, ATN started at this level, 1.23, and then all the movements happened below the 1.23 price. And at one point within the day, it even reached 1.20, but it closed down slightly above that. And now that we're here in ATN, let me talk about ATN. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Everyone now knows how to read a candlestick. Very good. For ATN, in the past few days, we had a bearish movement, and it retraced, started to show some bullish or some signs of reversal, especially around this day. So price ended at this level. It created a support. When do we say support? A support is created when a price touches that level for 2 or 3 times. No, 2 or more times. So in this case, it touched this level. It went up and then started touching that same level again. And then the next day, price started at this level. So 1, 2, 3. So on this day, we also had an engulfing day. So this is higher or bigger than the previous day. So that is a candlestick indicating that we are now reversing. But yeah, true, it reversed a little bit, but there is a resistance over here, and that is why this stock is bound to retrace or do a correction again. So most likely we will be expecting another red day tomorrow. So this is a um, hanging man. That is also another candlestick that means that we are going to go on a downward direction. Okay, so this one, for example, I actually have this. I have this picture in one of my posts. You can use that as your guide. So see that candlestick? It has the same look as what we have over here. So that's what you call a hanging man. And there is a resistance. It will now go down. So this is the Bollinger Band. The red line that you have here is the MA20 or moving average in 20 days. So that will mean that's the average price in the past 20 days. So expect a downward direction or downward movement for ATN. If you're interested in the stock, try to observe what happens around 1.16 area. Maybe that support will not be broken and then we can have a reversal once again. Okay, let's continue. I want to continue my analysis with Meg. As for Meg, let me just verify 1 second. For Meg, we are seeing a support around this area. At the same time, notice in RSI, we can say that we are about to face a reversal when price is moving up in RSI, and then this one is giving us a support. So it's flat. We're now in the area where you are at the support, so it's giving us just a flat line in the trend. So at the same time, you have a doji here. So that means no one is now willing to sell their position. No big movements in terms of selling. So it stops. It stopped at the same price. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is also considered because it reached that level. So we are now in the support area. So if you are interested in Meg, maybe in the coming days, if you have a green candlestick, or if you want, you can already give it a try and enter around this area. So, but just take note, if you are a trader cuts his losses when his analysis is inaccurate. Meaning, if we feel that this stock is bound to reverse and it goes otherwise, uh, we are never at 100% accurate in our analysis. Some very good traders also cut their losses because sometimes it doesn't happen that the trend follows your analysis. If that happens, make sure you set your stop loss area. And normally a trader would set around 3 to 5%, and it all depends on your risk tolerance. So that if 3% below your entry price gets hit, then you get out of that position. But if you are there as an investor, that's your opportunity to add some more shares and accumulate more stocks. Makes sense? So if you're interested in Meg, you can give it a try if you like. You're at a low risk position. VUL. VUL is trying to attempt. VUL is attempting to break your MA20 line, which is a very good sign. But they had a negative. Am I reading this right? Minus 264 K under net income. Now, my recommendation is if VUL gives us a green candlestick above the MA20 line, then you are at a safe place to enter. Not actually in this level, because when you are in a downward trend, your RSI becomes your resistance. And now I'm dropping another term here, a resistance. Resistance serves as a ceiling, meaning when a ceiling is hit, it bounces downward. Okay? So if this is not sustained, meaning if this price or this stock cannot break the MA20 line, then most likely we are going to go further down. But if on Thursday we end up with a green candlestick above the MA20 line, then we are good. We are now going to face a possible uptrend. Next one, we have CHP. CHP, we still have to wait and see because this MA20 line in an uptrend will serve as your support. At the same time, another key thing to remember, in an uptrend, your support is also moving in an uptrend. For example, this one. So that could be your support area, which is exactly near the MA20 line. Now, so your condition here, if you are really interested in the stock, price has to start around this level and then maybe a green candlestick to confirm its bounce. So just wait for a green candlestick before you get in the stock. Next one, your C. How's everyone doing so far? Watching from Cebu, Philippines. Good evening, Bisaya. I'm Ilonggo, so mayong gabi sa inyong tanan. To all the Ilonggos here. Good PM, George. Oh, wow, we have someone from Korea. Dance Villanueva Magna. Wow, AV Fernandez. What country is this? The icon is so small. Is that Malaysia? I'm not sure. You can post your comment and say hi from whatever country you're in right now. IMI and mwide. Dance will check. Let me just write that down. Because I already listed down the stocks that you guys had initially requested in my previous post earlier, so I'm prioritizing those. IMI and mwide. Okay. Who else do we have here? Randy, Dabolos, hello, Marco. Okay, we'll continue our greetings in a little while. URC. URC, another case of wait and see. It rested almost right at the area where you have the MA20 line. But let's try to expand our view to a weekly chart. So on a weekly chart, you technically have just bounced. So this is a good sign on a weekly chart though. So every candlestick would mean 1 week. So if you can haggle right near the MA20 line in a weekly chart, that will be good. So around this level. So wait and see. But overall, we are seeing a promising movement from Universal Robina Corporation. SSI. SSI, let us see. This is not a good day for our for SSI because your lower Bollinger Band has been triggered, and whenever we see that, notice here, it gives us a continuous decline. Although, check this out. I hope we are not going to stay at this level for a long time because your RSI is now in the oversold area, meaning you're at a very cheap level. When it says oversold, no one is selling anymore. So potentially we can put this on our watch list and observe what the movements are for our SSI over here. Now let's look at the weekly view. For the weekly view, let's just see. Hopefully, we have reached. So this is an area of resistance before, and when a stock goes up, your resistance can act as your future support. So still observe. I cannot really fully recommend entering SSI yet because sometimes even though this is already oversold, it lingers around that area. It goes sideways before it starts to create a momentum and reverses on the upside. For PPG, PPG, another good story. It is trying to break the MA20 line. So let's take a look at PPG. So this is look what happened before. So sometimes it just repeats its previous performance. So in on this day back in June 6th, so it tried to break that MA20 line, and then the next day it started at that level. So if if you are to choose, if I am to recommend, do not enter when the stock price is at this level yet, because sometimes it fails. Wait for the next day when the price starts right above the MA20 line, and most of the actions happen above the MA20 line. So that means we have a bullish movement on that day, and it's a good time to enter. So let's go back here. So let's say on Thursday, price starts at this level, because I know some traders will take profit because some of them have already entered around this area. Some of them for sure will take profit. And let's say most of the action happens above the MA20 line. If you get the chance, stay as close or as close to the 5.88 area when you enter in the stock. So when you say support area, it is an area. It doesn't have to be exactly at 5.88 spot on, okay? It could be slightly higher or slightly lower than that. We are at TEL. Next is TEL. TEL has a dividend. Scheduled X date is August 20th, which is today. Okay, so normally, so this is how it goes. Normally on the X date, the price dips because people have already accumulated. And then on the first minute of the 20th, when the system sees that you have a stock um, you should already have a position on that date when the market opens, for the system to recognize that you are eligible for the dividend. Okay. Now, tendency is the first minute of the day, first 30 minutes actually of the when the market opens, people are starting to sell. And then who gets victimized? The newbies, because they see that it's at the X date. They would think that, okay, this is when I enter it. So uh, the goal is you should be able to. I need to find a good explanation for that, but there are some terms in the dividend play that we have to understand. But when you enter on the X date, technically you are not part of the list who will receive the dividend. And so that's the reason why normally the price dips during the X date. Right? See this? Let's see. April 1st. Let's look at April 1st. 37. This is April 1st. See that? Price dips on the X date. April 1st. Let's have another evidence here. X date August 22nd. Let's look at August 22nd. August 22nd. August 20. It's too far. Go to, there you go. What year was this? 2018. August 22nd, 2018. Okay, this one has an interesting findings. Your August 22nd here. Okay, it did not dip. It only bounced around the MA20 line. Okay, but normally that's how it happens. It's not 100% the golden rule, but that's how it happens. You try to observe other stocks, what happens during the X date. Now, the next one is, hold on, I had my list in my other laptop, so we are now in AGI. Next is AGI. For AGI, you're already here. Let's check. This used to be your support area. So be extra careful because we might not be over yet with the downward movement. Okay, so your condition here is, so that area, right? The condition here is that your previous support here, which could potentially be your next resistance, because we are in a downward movement, this will be your next resistance. So observe first if that area will be broken. Now you can enter around 13.69, because if that gets broken, then this will now be your new support. So I don't recommend entering yet. Now if this stock goes further downwards, your next resistance is, or next support is around this area. which was the previous resistance. Notice this part. Oops. There you go. So these are the, see, amazing. Your resistance over here could potentially your next support. This was the part, this was the area where this candlestick actually stopped. So it could potentially do this action. Hit here, move down again. Because your RSI, I don't see any indication that we are about to face a reversal, a full reversal. So this could just be a temporary move. If you want to try it out, wait for the price to reach around this area. The next one is FLI. For FLI, I would consider this area as the support. Now it is starting to give us a bounce. So support landed in this area several times, and this one too. Okay, so if you want to get in this stock, enter around this area if the market gives us a chance around that area now. And then your possible profit taking area would be your MA20. So how much is that in the event? That could be a gain of 8%. Sometimes it doesn't really reach that exact price, maybe around this area, 7% gain. Who knows, right? Sometimes you have one day, just one day movement, and then you're already you're able to hit your profit taking area. But definitely here, it has consolidated around that area, and so if you want to enter in the stock, try to haggle, wait for a chance around the 1.68. The next one is MBT. For MBT, we're not safe yet. We're doing some sideways movement for MBT with some spikes on the upside. So let's see. Let me plot this first. Hits this area, it hits this area, and try to consolidate it almost on the same area. So I have a feeling nope, I need to see this in an upward direction. So it might go back here or slightly lower than that, but this is the area where I see our potential support. So the rule is that support should not be broken. Otherwise, we might see a continuous downward movement for this stock. We might see more downward trends. Yeah, downward activities. So condition, okay, see the condition. Should not be broken. Or if you want to enter in this stock, see a confirmation, that it has indeed bounced. Sun Life, SunTrust. Oh, wow, what's in this stock? Is there news? 6 days ago. I don't trust this movement unless there is a news in the PSE Edge about this company. By the way, guys, for those of you who are new to the stock market, subscribe to this or bookmark this page. These all the announcements, disclosures, or any updates about a certain company, you will find it in the PSE Edge, and even the schedules of the dividends for the different companies. So try to explore that. Now let's check out Sun, because I'm not very familiar with this company, SunTrust Search. Do we have any update around this? Disclosures, August 14th, quarterly report, just that. And the numbers are not very significant. So I would have to say that, this is an example of what we call a jockey play. So, some um, groups or large institutions or probably groups of friends who are rich kind of manipulated by getting into the stock, and so it triggered that movement. And please, if you're interested in getting in, this is not the area where you should be getting in. Make sure wait for it to rest around the MA20 line. Okay, do not be tempted. This is a FOMO level, fear of missing out. And it's, if you are feeling that at one point, it's like this stock is tempting you to, get in. Just remember that this is already a profit taking area. Okay, I don't see any reason why this will potentially move further upward unless there is a news where I am not very familiar with. Okay, so just go ahead and comment below or try to share to everyone what you know about this. KPPI. This is another one. Okay, so I said yesterday that I'm not very confident when it is an IPO, because from experience, normally it does not give you the true value or the true price of this stock. It's still trying to establish where the actual value is. So we are lucky. Those people who may have entered this stock, you are lucky. You have just gained. Let us say you entered around this area, you have gained around 45%. Good job. But still, I am not recommending, because this is the game of this is the game that traders play. I mean, the experts, and they check normally around 5 to 15 minute time frame. So if you are really interested, check the 5 to 10 minute time frame when you play the stock. And same rule, if you're using the Bollinger Band, enter at the area where you should enter, not just anywhere. So where will that be? When you see a possible support, for example, this, it hits this level several times. It acted as a resistance. So let's plot that previous resistance, right? So plot that there. Then when it gets broken, then you have a confirmed upward movement. This is where you enter, not here. Okay. This is a 5 minute time frame. Now, let's say you were able to enter here, then another green candlestick. Now, at this level, this could be your potential profit taking area. Any signs of, or any signs of weakness, that's when you take profit. And then, yeah, it takes practice, but it would be great if you try it out on a, on a virtual environment, or in a testing environment first before you put your money here. Otherwise, you might um, buy it at a very expensive price, and then all of a sudden, uh, you know um, people will be selling their position. 20th. Okay. Let us see on our hourly chart. What happened here? 29.30. Wow. Okay. RCI. I'm very conservative with my analysis for kppi. Let's check out. How are you guys doing so far? Are you still with me? Where did I stop? Marco, hello. Leander, yep, just talked about KPPI, Banjo, Noli. Okay, we'll try to explore those. Yeah, RCI, yes, Banjo, we're checking that out. Hello. Okay, so guys, please don't forget to subscribe to Miss JD in YouTube, okay? Miss JD over here is also one and the same. We are just giving other options for you in case you're more comfortable in viewing the replay in YouTube because you can adjust the playback speed. Thank you in advance to those who will subscribe. Next is RCI. RCI, you are now at the profit taking area. We are about to face some retracement. And the reason why I said that is very simple. For the consistent viewers of this page, you would really know. So, price is moving in an upward direction, right? But your RSI is now moving downwards. So, and then today it ended on a red candlestick. So potentially we are going to have some form of retracement. If you want to enter in this stock, let's see. See if you can, if the market gives us a chance around this area. Very conservative. On a weekly chart, it will potentially reach that area. So it will take several days, most likely. Not on Thursday, not on Friday, but in the coming days. So this used to be the resistance, right? So if you want, you can just use the MA20 line on a daily chart because again, it is an area. The MA20 line is just right around 1.65. So around that, if you really cannot wait, but if the price gives you a sign or a chance around this area, then that should be good. Next is BPI. For BPI, okay, it's loading. Hello. Oh, good evening, Guapa from Iloilo. Mayong gabi sa inyong mga tanan. Amilongo. GC? Yep. I think I have ISM, yeah? Kasama rin po ba sa dividend kapag sa Thursday pa lang mag-buy sa MEG? Let me check. MEG. Oh. For MEG. I don't see any scheduled dividend for MEG. But normally, let us say the X date is on Thursday. Some people would already accumulate volume before Thursday, and they sell it. They sell it on Tuesday. I mean, on Thursday. Again, if the X date is Thursday, they would accumulate shares prior to Thursday and then they sell it on Thursday. If you do that, you are still included in the dividend, right? Okay, I hope you were able to capture that homework. Paano malaman kung saan siya mag-breakout? So your Bollinger Band, these are your areas. This is the area where you can watch out. So this could be a possible breakout, but it was not sustained. Normally, they use another tool they use to check for a breakout is they use a Darvas box. So they plot, let us say, yep, let us say for this particular day, they put a box. Where's that? Here. Yeah. There. So they plot the box for the short-term support and resistance. So this is your support and this is your resistance. So if the price moves beyond that upper or the resistance area, then you have a breakout. And normally, you refer to the upper band as your trigger or your hints before you can conclude that it is a possible breakout. And the most basic, of course, is identifying the resistance. When your resistance gets broken, then you have a breakout. For example, in this case, this area gets hit several times, one, two, three, like not just once, one, two, three, several times over here and over here. So you plot your line there. So price moves up and down, and this line gets broken, which is your resistance area. That's what you call a breakout. Okay. Now let's go back to BPI. Okay. BPI is, let us see. I think BPI can potentially go on a bearish movement or go on a downward direction because we have a red candlestick here and we are moving below the MA20 line. So we might experience some more downward movement here. And I don't see any hints that we are going to be retracing or bouncing anytime soon. So let's just wait and see. But take note, we are talking about BPI. So this stock is best for long-term investing. Now, if you have the chance, maybe observe what the action is around this area, which used to be the resistance. So if the price goes further downward, so it might be a breakout on the downside. If that price gets broken, then we might see some more downward movement. So all you have to do is plot the another line again. For instance, this could be your next area that you would like to challenge. Now just wait for a possible bounce before you enter the stock, because right now we can see that this could possibly move on a downward direction. So if you want, you can expand and check out the weekly chart because we have a better story here. This weekly chart, so just adjust it. Your weekly chart could potentially end around this area, 84.99 or 85. Let's see, let's plot that again. It's not moving. Okay, so just take note of this area, around 85 levels. There you go. Or slightly higher or slightly lower than that is fine because it's an area. So MA20 line is an area where price normally bounces. So just wait for that level. BPI, Vita. Vita is trying to create a support in this area. I can't remember who I was talking to the other day. We were talking about Vita. Yeah. And I told him that I don't see any signs of possible reversals yet for Vita. So it is now trying to consolidate, meaning trying to move within the range and has given us a solid support in this level. So the condition is this price must not, or this area must not be broken. Otherwise, we might see some more downward movement for this stock. But in case we have, a green candlestick engulfing, let's say, this day, that could be a good sign. We might see a possible reversal soon. So let's see. Let's just this one over here. Let's give it a few more days before we can really conclude. Yep. Your critical area is 1.13. That should not be broken. GSMI. GSMI. Let us see. Now, I think, let's see what's in GSMI. There's an ex date 0.25 cents or 25 cents per share. So that means before August 27, you should be already accumulating some shares and then sell it on August 27 if you want to really take advantage of the cash dividend. So let's see. Let me plot a Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so let's use this area as the lowest point here. You can also use this if you, yeah, we can use that. And if you plotted that first point right at the body of the candlestick, you should also have your highest point within the body. Okay, so what I did here, I plotted it inside the body. Now, how do we read this? You see 0.236. You also see 0.382 and 0.5, 0.618. These lines are your possible bounce areas. Okay, so what we have here is that your 0.236 area has already been invalidated, meaning it's not a bounce area because the downward movement persisted. But your next possible area of bounce is the 51 or 50.91 area. Could be slightly higher or slightly lower than that. Now, I am thinking that on a weekly chart, you are now facing a possible signs of bounce. So it could potentially bounce, but there's a big chance that, the week is not over yet. we might encounter some more red days and then hit this level. So if you want to enter in this stock, wait around 50.91 area. Wait around that level, 50.91. If the price or if the market gives us a chance to enter around that area, because what I'm seeing here is that it could potentially bounce in that area. Yep. Okay, those are the areas to watch out for. Next is smph. smph, hopefully this is now a good bounce. Price ended outside of the Bollinger Band on a weekly chart, but let us say this week ends higher than previous week. Okay, so currently it's showing us a higher price, and it has to end inside the Bollinger Band. Then we can say this is now a sign of reversal. Okay, so let's just watch out for this stock. On a daily chart, yep, if you want to get in, wait for this area, 34.60 area, because it might rest within this week before it goes full swing, a reversal. ABA. For ABA, look at this, 1, 2, 3. Let's observe the action around this area. 1, 2, 3. It got hit 3 times. It also got hit on the 4th time here. If you're interested in this stock, try to do a test buy if you like around 0.80 area. If it goes lower than that, then you cut your losses. But the best way or the best indicator is when you see a green candlestick with its price starting at that level or slightly higher, then that is going to be a confirmed reversal or bounce. At the same time, let me see. Oh, not yet. Yep. Just observe that line. That should not be broken. Let's see. How's everyone doing so far? Hello, Juna. The fan. Let's see. Okay, I'll finish what I have on my list first before I check out the others. Wilcon, hello from Cadiz City. Is this Cadiz from Negros? Negros Occidental. Yes, for Ian. Let's continue. Seb. Seb. Okay. The price that this stock will challenge at the moment is, okay, so let me plot a Darvas box here. So this one, my mouse is acting up. Okay, so that is your range. If you do range trading, you enter here at the support area and exit here. That's how you do range trading. But if you want to play a breakout, wait for the price to start higher or above 96.30, and then this upper band should be triggered, and that's what you call a breakout play. So you just observe, because what I'm looking at right now is that looks like, okay, today this tiny candlestick, I'm thinking that the price is, having a difficult time. It is having a difficult time breaking that resistance. So just observe. In case you have the market gives us a chance around MA20, go ahead. You can enter around MA20 line, around the MA20 area. JFC. For JFC, I'm looking at some more downward movement for JFC. So let's wait for some more opportunities here. Look at this one. This one was moving downward and then it's moving upward. But yes, when we said that, it indeed moved upward, but you have your resistance here. Your MA20 line acted as your resistance. Now it's an area, remember? So it doesn't have to be hit exactly at the spot. It could be within that area. See this? Within that area, and then it goes downward direction again. So let's wait for some more hints or signs here, but I'm thinking it can still go further down. Okay, ISM. ISM is negative because all the cash flow is really, the cash flow is, um, they have a lot of expenditures because they're involved in the third telco. So we are still having some very tiny moves, very minimal moves. And I'm thinking we are now within the area of support. I hope that is not broken. Otherwise, well, this area, this could be around here. Yep, because we have several points or several days where that particular area was hit. So 4.88. But it is now trying to create a brand new support in this level. So let us see. Just be conservative. I'm conservative with my expectations. If the market does not give me a chance around 4.88, then it is not going to be a perfect timing yet. So this is, yeah, your two areas to watch out for. Let's see if this will give us a good bounce. Because it's giving us a support in that area, and now you're seeing this. Let's try this. Okay, that's in the short term. Possible reversal anytime soon. Tech. What's your take on this? Okay, the volume. No one is selling anymore. See that? I'm on a weekly chart, and so I'm thinking, yep. So if you're interested in this stock, try to see if this level will still, you will be given a chance around this level, 1140 area, and just use the MA20 line as your next resistance or your profit taking area. If that area gets broken, then we can possibly have an upward or bullish movement for this stock. So that's your condition. It has to break the MA20 line before we can say that we now have a new trend. because for the longest time it's been doing sideways or downward movement. Next, we have after tech APX. Okay, observe, check if the price will bounce around MA20 line. A green candlestick would be good. So MA20 line will be your possible entry point. If the price goes lower than that, then we might have a new direction, a downward direction for this stock. So use MA20 line as your entry area. Next is alco. Ian answered yes. Boy from Cadiz. Now, oh, alco. What I see here is that this line acted as a resistance. And when this price gets hit, it bounces downward. Price gets hit, it bounces downward. So, where is the next support then? Could be here. Could be here. Possible support around this area. It has its own life. My goodness. Area to watch out for. Another area to watch out for is your possible there. This used to be a resistance that could potentially act as your support in the coming days. Okay. If this gets broken, the next area to watch out for is this area. And PXP. Wow. When I have a chart that looks like this, I don't really recommend people entering anymore because you are now at a profit taking area. If it might go further upward, you know the risk to reward ratio is not ideal. See that? And then that could act as your resistance. So very, very small probability of having a good profit here. So wait around the MA20 line because eventually this price will rest. This stock will rest. It's not forever that we're going to have an upward direction. Your next is phen. For phen, okay, it bounced. So if you want to get in phen, get in around this area, which is your resistance before, and now could potentially be your next support in the coming days, around 2.75 area. EXP. Okay, done. What about MBT? I will edit my post and then outline all the stocks we've reviewed so that in case you want to go back to it again, you will be able to identify the stocks that we have discussed here. MBT, I talked about MBT. RRHI. RRHI. Okay, I'm looking at the weekly chart. So looks like we are near the area of bounce. In the weekly chart, this is your bounce area. So if you want to get in for Robinson's Retail Holdings, haggle near 76.70 within that area. In fact, actually, the price we're in right now is already a good one. like a few cents, haggle for a few cents. We're now seeing some more actions above the MA20 line. Take note, I'm looking at the weekly chart. So it CLI. CLI, okay, this could be a possible bounce, although there's an overshoot. Normally, we would like it to bounce in the MA20 line, but consider that um, your bounce area is an area, so potentially, slightly lower than that is tolerable. See, it bounced in the yellow line. It bounced where? In the 0.382 area. Okay, so I'm thinking that we are now um, about to experience a bounce for this stock. And I am looking at the weekly chart. So that's how you plot it. Get the lowest point and then get the highest point. If you plotted it right within body to body, it has to be consistent at the bottom and then at the top. CLIC. Let's observe C. It ended slightly lower than that, but the week is not over yet. You might see a possible bounce. It might end right above the MA20 line. So let's just wait and see for now. But how does it look like on a daily chart? So we might see some more downward movement. So just hang in there. Let's check the stock again. All right, in the coming days. So hopefully we end this week with a green candlestick to confirm a bounce for C. PIP. For PIP, okay. Observe PIP because we are forming an ascending triangle. So we need to see a green candlestick over here. It should start outside or higher than 1.89 before we can say we have a breakout of the ascending triangle. But, look at this. So I would have to say wait and see because we might end up some more red days. So if this line gets broken, then you now have a downward direction. But right now, what I can see is that your RSI is already giving you some hints that in the coming days or in the coming weeks, because I'm on a weekly chart, we are going to experience some retracement. Hopefully, it ends right at the MA20 line. Oh, ATN. Carlo, if you would like to replay this, ATN was the first stock I reviewed. So that's the first company. Next is Pure Gold. Pure Gold. Hopefully, this MA20 line gets we cross over the MA20 line for us to say that we now have a new direction. So we're on a weekly chart. Take note, we are on a weekly chart. So hopefully we are going to experience a breakout of the MA20 line. So wait and see if that, because look, for the for the past 4 weeks, this stock is trying to struggle, is struggling to break the MA20 line. But hopefully, when it if line gets broken, then we now have a new direction for this stock. And earlier, I posted IMI. IMI is it is it higher? Okay, let's see. On a weekly chart, we have a much higher points while it was going down. So I'm thinking on a weekly chart, we are about to face some reversal soon. So potentially, we could end up, who knows, we could end up this week with a green candlestick, and that will be a confirmation that we are now on a reversal. And just use the MA20 line as your profit taking area. Let us say you enter at 820. How much would be your potential profit? Wow, that's a high price. My candlesticks are just small. I thought it's a small movement. So that could be a potential 25%, but you don't have to aim for that exact price. Slightly lower than that could be a very good profit taking area. So if you want, you can start accumulating. Take note, we're on a weekly chart. So that would mean you have to be in this stock for, several weeks before you can potentially experience a bounce or a profit of around that much. Next is, did I talk about IRC? No. IRC, and this is for Carlo. IRC, hmm, maybe we have just experienced the bounce. Let's see. Yep, but it might stabilize around that area before it moves up. Now, if you're interested in this stock in terms of trading, use this as your possible profit taking area or your resistance. Maybe, if you see a lot of volume as it goes higher, now maybe you can just partially take profit and then see if the price sustains in the upside or on an upward direction, then at least you still have some shares left. Okay. Wow. So did we talk about MPI? So IRC MPI, because I need to log this and MPI. Okay. So just to share a best practice, guys. Um, I've been doing this for several years now, and then uh, know that I'm a full time employee, and I only do this on the side. So this is like uh, part time slash hobby. So every day is a learning experience. Now, what I do, so I learned that you have to you need to have a journal of all your trades. Now, this exercise that we are doing, it's like journaling in a high tech way. So it's in a video format. At least I can just go back to it pre and post market. So this is the pre market initial analysis, and then I go back to it right after the market closes, and then from there I um, analyze. I also evaluate whether my analysis is correct or not. So those things that are accurate, then I reinforce it in my trades because I am more active. Actually, I am more active in the U.S. market. and I copy the same concept. I I have the same indicator, and it's just the same. My analysis in the US market is the same as the analysis or the technical analysis I use in the Philippine market. So it's an exercise. So maybe you can do the same, just sharing a best practice there. Um, Go back to this video, watch it again, and then watch it in YouTube, because in YouTube you can adjust the playback. Because I know a lot of our videos here are, more than an hour long. And right now, I think yeah, I'm approaching 1 hour and a half talking here. So just the best practice, just a guide for you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel here, because after I'm done with this live, I download the video and I upload it here. Now, if you play any of our videos there, just adjust the playback speed. SLI for, let me see, SLI. One last before I say goodnight to everyone. SLI, you are in the profit taking area. Who is this, Jenny? Jenny, you are now expecting some retracement you will expect some retracement in the coming days for SLI. So if you are interested, because wow, this has been in an upward trend for several months now. If you would like to enter in SLI, enter near the MA20 line. Now, if the MA20 line gets broken and you have already entered in the stock, don't wait for your loss to reach 10%, because that's going to be hard to cut. If you like, if you're okay to lose some money, because that's the nature of trading, not 100% or not all the time your analysis will be accurate. Now, if it goes contrary to what you've predicted, then just stop or cut your losses at a tolerable range, around 3 to 5%. But with this, now that you know that it will potentially retrace, enter near the MA20 line. Okay? All right. I've already talked about ISM and ATN Maison. I will post the stocks that I have reviewed, so that you can also check out which part I've discussed that. Okay, in the meantime, thank you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. It's going to be a holiday tomorrow. Enjoy your holiday. I hope you also have a holiday wherever you are. For those outside of the country, have a great um, Wednesday. Have a great Wednesday for tomorrow. Good night and thank you. Bye bye for now.